Hi guys, welcome back. I thought I would do a quick, well actually it probably won't be very quick, but I thought I'd do a video today to show you two different things that I want to talk about. Now the first is I wanted to do a library book haul because I absolutely love the local library and I think it's really important that we all visit our local libraries and use them because we don't want them to disappear. And after I've done that I'm going to do my top 10, or not my top 10, but 10 books that I want to read in 2014 that I haven't read and I've wanted to read for years. So I'm going to show you those, and the reason why I'm kind of putting these together is that one of the books that I want to read in 2014 is one of the library books, so that's why. So I'm just going to quickly start off with the library book haul. I'm really lucky that my local library is only about a 3-minute walk down the road from me. I'm really lucky in that I'm so close to it. I'm also really lucky with the fact that it's actually quite a good library. There's quite a nice selection of books, but they have a really good reservation system. So if there's a book you really want but your local library hasn't got it, you can place a reservation and then a library in the area who has got the book can send it to your local library and then you can pick it up from there, which is a really good resource because that's how I get most of the books from the library that I choose. So I'm just going to show you the first couple of books that I picked up when I was in the library that weren't reserves, that were books that I just picked up because I saw them on the shelves and I thought they looked good. So the first one is Step Back in Time by Ali McNamara. Now I really want to read this because I love Ali McNamara's books, but I haven't really had much of a chance to read this one yet because I've been so busy with other books about to be published. And I'm about 58 pages in. And I'm kind of liking it so far. I feel a little bit like it's a little bit slower than Ali's other books. With Ali's other books I literally haven't been able to put them down because I've just been so invested in the story. But I'm hoping to get round to this book in 2 books' time and finish it off. Because obviously it needs to go back to the library soon, but also because I really want to find out what happens in this book. So that's the first one. The second one that I picked up was in the YA section, and this is called The Moon and More by Sarah Dessen. I'm really loving YA books at the moment, so I'm kind of getting into the mood of picking them all up and giving them a read, and I'm quite excited about this because I've heard loads of things about Sarah Dessen, and this book by her seems to be the one that most people talk about and the one that people say is like their favourite out of them all, so I'm really excited about this one. The next book I picked up is also a YA book and was also just randomly on the shelf, and I picked this up because I've just finished reading another book by this author who co-wrote another book, and I'm excited to kind of find out more about his writing style, and that is Every Day by David Levithan, or Levithan, I'm not sure how you pronounce his surname. Loved the cover of this book. That's what kind of really attracted me at first, just this really nice bright orange and purple, actually orange and blue and white cover, and I'm really excited about this one. It's kind of not the normal thing I go for, but I'm kind of trying to get out of my comfort zone and go into different boundaries, so I'm really excited about reading that one. The next one that I picked up was also just randomly on the shelf, and I haven't read any of this author's other books before, but one of the books that I want to read by this author is in one of my 10 books for 2014. So I picked this up because I thought it looked good and it looked quite short, and that is Big Brother by Lionel Shriver. Now, I don't know what the library have done, but they've done something with this cover and it's all kind of broken and it all looks a bit wonky and horrible, but I'm looking forward to giving this one a go because I've heard quite good things about it, and the author is obviously very prolific and it seems to be a really good popular one, so hopefully I will enjoy this book too. Now I'm going to move on to the books that I requested. I've requested quite a few books and only a few of them have arrived at the library because other people are either reading them or they're on loan at the moment and they can't quite get to my local library yet, but there's a few that have arrived, and the first one that's arrived is called 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. Now I think this is quite an old book now, published in 2007. Oh no, sorry, that was published 2007 in America but published over here in 2009. So it's quite an old one, but I was trying to get into YA and I was asking people what good YA books there were around, and a lot of people recommended this one, and I think it's quite like a classic YA, so I'm really looking forward to giving this one a go. Not too keen on the cover, but then again there have been more modern covers since then and I prefer the more modern covers, but really excited to give this one a go. The next one that I requested, I have to say I absolutely adore the inside. It's like a lime green, acid yellow kind of colour, and it is The Humans by Matt Haig. I adore Matt Haig and I've been wanting to read this book for ages since I saw him talking about it on Twitter, and I finally managed to get my hands on a copy, so I'm really eager to read this, and I'm trying not to start reading it now because I've got so many books on the go at the moment, but this will definitely be one of the next books that I pick up. And then finally, the last book that I requested that has arrived is a book by an author who I read her first book and I adored it. And I didn't realise she'd written another one until I googled her name and I found it. And it is You Against Me by Jenny Downham, and she wrote Before I Die, which I think has now it's been republished under a different name. I can't remember what's the new name of it. I can't quite remember, but it has got a new name now. But I really loved Before I Die, and I'm really excited about this one as well. I really like the cover for this. It's quite plain and quite basic, but I think it's a nice kind of prelude to what might happen in the book. So that is my library book haul. I thought I'd just do that quickly. I hope that there's some books there that you're kind of excited about reading reviews for. I'm now going to move on to my 2014 pile, so I'm just going to yank them off the bed. And these are the 10 books that I've wanted to read for years and I never have got around to reading, that I really want to read this year. So the first one is a library book that I picked up in the library that I actually requested as well. This was one that I asked for because I couldn't find a copy in the local library, and that is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I've wanted to read this book for absolutely ages and I've never really got round to picking up a copy or buying a copy, so I thought, you know what, I'll borrow it from the library. So I placed a request and it got sent straight away, and this is the 50th anniversary edition, so that's quite exciting because I didn't realise it was that old, so I'm really looking forward to getting started on this one. Now the next book that I want to read in 2014 is a book that I've tried to read so many times before and I've given up kind of like 3 or 4 pages in because it's just not really gripped me and it's been a little bit too complicated for me to get into. But I'm hoping that because I've kind of read a bit more since then and my reading abilities have perhaps increased a little bit and my knowledge of the English language has increased, hopefully I won't find it so difficult. And that is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. So many people say that they love this book and I kind of feel bad because people that are like in year 12 and 13 at school who do this for A-level have read it, and I'm just like 20 years old and I've never really had the ability to read it, so I'm really hoping that this year will be the year that I actually read and finish To Kill a Mockingbird. The next book that I want to read is a book that I was supposed to read at school and I never did read at school. We didn't actually study it, but it was kind of part of the course that you were expected to read it. And I didn't, and I've read the author's other book and I really enjoyed it, which I was shocked because I didn't think I would. But I'm kind of hoping that this one will be just as good, if not better, and it is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. Sorry if that's your name, sorry if I've pronounced your name wrong. I loved The Kite Runner and I was really dubious about starting that one because that kind of genre is not something I'm really used to or interested in, and I read it and I was so blown away by the story, so I'm really excited to read this one because I think the cover is beautiful as well, and I'll be really interested to find out how this compares to The Kite Runner. The next book that I want to read is again a book that I've kind of tried to read in the past and given up on halfway through. Not even halfway through, I probably think I got about 10 pages of this when I gave up. This was published in 2001, I think. Let me just have a quick check. Yeah, 2001. And was turned into a film with Keira Knightley. So I'm excited to kind of read this one. I'm not really sure what to expect from it, but it is Atonement by Ian McEwan. This is like the film edition. I bought this one in a charity shop like the Spines with Bent, which is like my worst nightmare because I hate Bent Spines, but this was, I think, was like 50p in a charity shop, so I thought I'd buy it and add it to my 2014 list. And obviously, as you know, I've heard loads of things about this one, like I have all of these books, saying that it's really good and you really should read it, so that's why I picked it up, because I really want to give it a go and to see whether it lives up to the hype that surrounds it. Again, the next book is a book that I actually can't remember if I've read it before, but if I have read it before, then I can't remember reading it before, and I know that I've read some of it, but I don't know whether I actually finished it and got to the end of it or not. So I'll be interested to see whether, as I start reading it, it all kind of comes back to me and I remember what I was reading, but I don't think I finished it. And it's quite a battered up copy because I got this from a charity shop, but it is The Curious, oh, just hit myself in the face, The Curious Instant of a Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. This one is a bit of a battered old copy. It was only 50p, which, you know, you can't complain. So I really want to read this one because obviously it's a really modern classic, and I've tried to read it so many times and I'm sure that I've got kind of like halfway in, but then for some reason I've given up, so I want to see why that is and see if I can actually get to the end this time. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. Number 5 on the list of books I want to read this year is a book, again, that I've tried to read in the past and given up because I haven't really understood it. It's been a bit confusing and the language used in the book was a little bit too mature for me. But a couple of my really good friends, Megan and Victoria and Kirsty, have all said how much they love this book and how much they would recommend it. And that I definitely should read it because it's one of their favourite books, and that is The Time Traveller's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And I've had this book for probably coming up to 4 years now. When was it published? That will help. Yeah, 2004. So yeah, I've had this for about 4 or 5 years now because I bought it when the film came out. I bought the book. So I really want to give this a go because people say how amazing it is, and also I've got another one of Audrey's books, and I'm hoping that if I enjoy this one then I can go on to that one, and I think it's called Her Fearful Symmetry, so I'm hoping that it will spur me on to read another one of her books, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one too. The next one is a book that I've never ever tried to read before. I haven't even kind of flicked through it. I don't really know what to expect, but I saw it in a charity shop and so many people talk about this book and say how amazing it is, and again it's like a modern day classic, and that is Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, and I think this has also been turned into a film. Yeah, now a major motion picture starring Tom Hanks and Sandra Bullock. So this will be a really interesting read, and when I bought it in a charity shop and then I flicked through it and there was I was really upset because it looked like people had drawn on the pages, and I was like, oh no, someone's drawn in the book, but I actually think that is how the book is supposed to be. I think that's part of the print, and then when I was looking through the rest of it I kind of found some more scribbles and parts where the book was in colour, and then I kind of thought maybe that's supposed to be there. So if it's not, let me know, because I don't know whether it's supposed to be there or not, but I'm interested to give this a go and to see whether I enjoy it as much as people have enjoyed it. So yeah, another exciting book to get my reading teeth into. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. The next book is one of the ones I was talking about in the library haul, is written by Lionel Shriver, and this book I've tried to read so many times as well, and I don't know why, but I've just always kind of abandoned it at about 20 pages, but I'm really determined to finish it this year, and it is We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver. Obviously this is like a film now and loads of people talk about it and it's won loads of prizes and everybody like praises it so much, so I really want to finish this, and I don't know why I keep finding it so difficult to get into it, but I think this is a really gorgeous copy as well, so I'm really excited about this one. Last two, the next one is a book that I've tried to read as well, and I think I read about 50 pages, not even that I don't think, probably about 20 pages because it's only a short book, and then I just kind of put it down and forgot about it. But this book is only like 192 pages in total, so I don't know why I haven't really picked it up and given it a read, but that is Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. I've got 2 other Mitch Albom books, one about For One More Day, and I think another one's called, oh gosh, 5 People You Meet in Heaven, I think. And also he's just released 2 more, The Timekeeper and The First Phone Call from Heaven, and I really want to read The First Phone Call from Heaven, but I thought I'd give this one a go first to see whether I like his writing style and to see whether it's good. And a lot of people talk about him as well and talk about how good this book is, so I'm excited to give this one a read. I'm excited about them all, I keep saying that. Excited. And then finally, this book I am kind of dreading reading, but at the same time I'm looking forward to reading. It's been turned into a film. It's one of the most talked about books in the booktubing world and in the blogging world, especially among YA and fantasy and dystopian bloggers. And it is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Now I am a massive, I can't find the word, maybe idiot's the right word when it comes to genres like this, because I just don't like them. I don't know why, but I just can't get into them. I find it really difficult to suspend my disbelief. I find it really difficult to get my head around everything that goes on. But one of my friends, Megan, has started recently reading them and she said how much she loves them. So I think it's only fair that I give it a go and see whether I like it or not, and if I don't like it then that's fine. I can say I've tried it and I didn't like it, but I'm hoping that I might actually love it and I will discover a new kind of love for this genre and this book. So excited about that. And it's really quite sad because I picked this up in a charity shop, and it made me a bit sad because in the front there was like a letter or like a dedication or like a thing, and it says, "To our Ben, congratulations on doing so well this year and winning the something for your work. Love, Marie and Gav something something. Love, Nanny Jar Jar," maybe. I can't quite make out what it says, but I thought that was quite sad because somebody obviously was given this book as a present and they just kind of didn't want it anymore, so it ended up in a charity shop. But I got it for 50p, so you know, I will love this book as it was intended to be loved by Ben, and I will let you know whether I enjoy it or not. So that is my library book haul and my books that I want to read in 2014 haul. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it's been a bit quick and I haven't really shown you many of the books, but obviously I didn't want to make it too long so it was too boring for you. Let me know if you've got any of these books to read. Let me know if you want to read any of the books. Let me know if you have read any of the books and what you think of them. And also I'll be interested to know if there's any books in 2014 that you really want to read that you've put off in previous years. And also I'd love to know what kind of books you get from your local library, whether you borrow loads or you borrow one at a time. I'm really interested to know about libraries. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!